Good morning, welcome to this Phoenix Blue morning update for Monday the 16th of August. I'm Tom Colley and I'll talk you through the markets and the news this morning. News this morning is woke up to see the dollar weakening, substantially down overnight. In the last hour it's made another significant push down and now on the dollar index sits on the $95 level. So dollar weakness there. We were hoping and expecting to a certain extent dollar strength based on how the dollar reacted to the poor data that came out on Friday. Initially it reacted by weakening, but subsequently strength came back in. But anyway, let's start with the news and we'll look at those charts in a moment. Okay, overnight we've had the monetary policy meetings from the Reserve Bank of Australia. They were somewhat confusing. They seemed to point to optimism going forward in the Australian economy despite a rate cut at the meeting these minutes relate to. So somewhat confusing, but potentially meaning that there may not be future rate cuts on the immediate horizon because of that positive stance. But I think the overriding factor will be confusion. Going in today, we have CPI figures out on the pound. These more significant than usual because these are the first post-Brexit figures on this data, so they will potentially be taken as a measure on sentiment, etc., following the Brexit vote. So the pound certainly worth watching around that news at 9:30. We then have the German economic sentiment numbers, and then into this afternoon we have manufacturing sales from Canada. And then out of the US, most importantly, we have CPI and core CPI. So obviously we'll be watching those figures in light of what I've already told you about the dollar this morning. Also, the New Zealand dairy price index usually comes out mid-afternoon. It's on a tentative setting, so we're not sure exactly what time it does come. If you're interested in New Zealand, that's definitely something you want to be watching because can have a significant impact. We don't have a forecast, we have a previous, and we just look for the relative position to the previous. And then late on this evening, again on the Kiwi, we've got employment change, PPI input, and the unemployment rate. Okay, over to the charts and starting in Asia. This is the US dollar JPY yen chart, down testing the $100 level when I actually took this slide. Not quite there, there's still just a gap. It sits about 10 or 15 pips above that level. We've talked about Bank of Japan potential intervention at this level and further down at around 99. So we will be looking to see if that occurs today. Corresponding with that, we've got a strengthening yen, so we've got a weakening equities market. This is the Nikkei 225. We've been watching the level at 16625 there. So far broken beneath that, and if certainly if we see 100 broken on the yen, we'll definitely see downside to that, or further downside. Here is the dollar index, and as you can see, I would guess it's 40 to 50 pips down in the last hour, maybe slightly less than that, but we saw it come down through any levels that were through there intraday. It's now sat on $95. So we will wait to see if we get a break of that. If we get a break of that, that will be significant, and then we'll certainly see weaker dollar down to either the trend line here or even down to 94, which is the next significant level for us. Corresponding, we've got the euro here. Dollar weakness led to some euro strength. We had an entry in here from yesterday. We were short the euro. That's been stopped out this morning on that dollar strength. Here's the pound, GBP US dollar. As we said, we've got data coming out at 9:30, CPI data, which is post-Brexit data. So it'll be interesting to watch that. I was interested in this level at 29.50 here. Coming into that news, however, weakness in the dollar potentially will bring us up to there, so we might see that sooner than I expected. Over on the Aussie, as you can see, we're short in a trade here, stops at break even. One trade from last week, we're still in that trade as we speak. We may just be kept in by this trend line here, but certainly if we see any more dollar weakness, that will be over and out for that trade. We had an intraday trade from yesterday, which was also taken out by that dollar strength. Over on crude, we saw a very bullish day yesterday. We're currently on a level about 45.85, confluent with this downward trend line. We're looking to see whether we obviously get a break above or a pullback down on that. Okay, that's really it for the moment. As I said, we've seen something quite specific this morning, which is that dollar weakness. We hadn't anticipated that to that extent, so we'll be watching that today and possibly staying out of the market certainly this morning until we can glean some information that lets us give us some direction, be it a break below that $95 on the DX, the dollar index, showing greater dollar weakness, or potentially this afternoon some positive data moving it in the other direction. Okay, I show this every time, but just a reminder, there's 4 hours of free trading on the August the 24th in London. If you'd like to come and see how we trade, how we analyse, particularly things like the commitment of traders, which a lot of other people don't actually use within their analysis, just go to the Phoenix Blue website and you can register for the event, or even the event after. If you leave a note to that effect, it's a monthly event. Okay guys, that's it for today, and we'll speak to you in the morning. Take care.